Welcome to the third and final part of our definitive series on dairy breeds. In previous videos, we analyzed the industry giants like the Holstein and Jersey, precision biological machines designed to pump out massive volumes of milk in controlled environments. We also looked at the European all-rounders or dual-purpose breeds like the Normand and Simmental, which balance meat and milk with mastery. But today we are going to talk about the special forces of the dairy world. Because let's be real, not every farm is a climate-controlled barn with a buffet served 24/7. What happens when your land isn't a perfect flat plain with mild weather? What happens when you have steep, rocky hills, poor forage, or suffocating tropical heat of 95 degrees that would kill a high-production Holstein from heat stress in 2 days? Or what if your business strategy isn't selling commodity volume to a factory, but selling exclusive, digestible premium milk directly to families who are willing to pay double for quality? Today I present to you the 4 breeds that break the conventional rules. We are going to meet the Ayrshire, the undisputed queen of rough grazing and longevity; the Guernsey, the producer of the mythical golden milk and A2 genetics; the historic milking Shorthorn, the mother of modern farming; and finally the jewel of the tropics, the Gyr Zebu, the only cow capable of producing milk under the scorching sun and pest pressure of the hottest climates. If you are looking for resilience, climate adaptation, and highly profitable niche markets where competition is low, this is the video you have been waiting for to close the cycle. Let's get started. 1. Ayrshire, the Scottish warrior. We begin our journey in the cold highlands of Scotland in the county of Ayr. Here, a breed was forged that has earned the global reputation of being the toughest, most efficient, and longest-lived dairy cow in grazing systems, the Ayrshire. Visually, she is a beautiful and imposing cow, cherry red or mahogany with white markings, very elegant and with a proud carriage. But don't let her aesthetic beauty fool you. This cow is a tireless worker designed for adversity. While a Holstein needs high-energy food served at her mouth and flat ground to avoid injuring her legs, the Ayrshire was selected for centuries in a hostile climate of strong winds, constant rain, and scarce forage. Why should you have her on your homestead? The technical keyword here is forage conversion on rough terrain. The Ayrshire has an incredible metabolic capacity and unique vigor to transform fibrous, medium, or low-quality pasture into milk. She is an extremely active animal. She likes to walk, climb steep hills, and forage where other breeds would stand still waiting for a supplement. If your land has rugged topography, mountains, or if you simply want to minimize expensive grain costs, the Ayrshire will give you more milk per acre than almost any other specialized breed. Production and cheese quality. Don't think that because she is rustic, she produces little. A good modern Ayrshire can easily deliver between 13,000 and 17,000 pounds, 6,000 to 8,000 liters, per lactation. But the secret is in her solids. Her milk is ideal for cheese making, with a butterfat content hovering around 4% and protein at 3.5%. What's interesting here is the size of the fat globules. They are smaller than those of the Jersey breed, which allows the fat to integrate better into the cheese curd rather than rising to the surface as cream, facilitating the production of high-quality aged cheeses. The udder and longevity. Genetically, the Ayrshire has the most correct, well-attached, and long-lasting udders of all dairy breeds. You will rarely see an old Ayrshire with a pendulous or dragging udder, a common problem in other breeds that leads to early culling. This means less mastitis, fewer teat injuries, and a much longer productive life. While other cows are culled after the 3rd or 4th calf due to physical breakdown, an Ayrshire continues producing quality and calving healthy calves well into her 8th or 9th lactation. This is pure profitability. You amortize the cost of raising the heifer over many more years of production. 2. Guernsey, the secret of golden milk. Now we change focus radically. We leave the Scottish ruggedness to go to a small island in the English Channel, neighbor to the famous island of Jersey. Here we find the Guernsey breed, an animal that does not compete for industrial volume but for exclusivity and human health. The Guernsey is a medium-sized cow, slightly larger than the Jersey but smaller than the Holstein. Her color is unmistakable, a light yellow, gold, or reddish fawn with white markings. She is famous for being extremely docile, almost like a giant pet, which greatly facilitates her handling on family farms where women or children are involved in the chores. But her true superpower is not visible to the naked eye. It is seen in the chemical analysis of her milk. The golden milk phenomenon. If you place a glass of Holstein milk, one of Jersey and one of Guernsey side by side, you will notice the difference instantly. Guernsey milk has an intense, bright, golden yellow color. This is not a defect, it is pure beta-carotene. The Guernsey cow's organism is genetically inefficient at processing the beta-carotene she consumes in the grass and converting it into colorless vitamin A. Instead, she passes the beta-carotene directly into the milk and her body fat. The result? milk with explosive nutritional value. It has been shown that Guernsey milk has 12% more protein, 30% more cream, 33% more vitamin D, and 15% more calcium than average commercial milk. For the producer of artisan butter or cheese, this is a goldmine. Butter made from Guernsey milk has such an intense natural yellow color that it needs no artificial coloring, and an herbaceous flavor that gourmet chefs desperately seek. The A2 protein revolution. But there is something even more important today. The Guernsey has one of the highest natural frequencies in the world, over 96% in many herds, of the A2 beta-casein protein gene. Today, many people who claim to be lactose intolerant or feel bloated when drinking milk do not actually have problems with milk sugar, but with the A1 protein produced by common Holstein cows due to a historical mutation. The A1 protein releases a peptide called BCM7 during digestion that causes inflammation. The Guernsey's A2 milk is the original milk, much more digestible and compatible with the human system. If your business model is selling bottled milk directly to the consumer under a premium or healthy label, having a certified A2 Guernsey herd allows you to differentiate yourself from the rest of the market and charge a significant premium. You are not selling milk, you are selling digestive health and superior nutrition. 3. Milking Shorthorn, the mother of farming and true dual purpose. We travel now to northeast England to talk about a breed that is living history, the milking Shorthorn, or dairy Shorthorn. This was, for centuries, the most popular cow in the English-speaking world. Before extreme industrial specialization, the Shorthorn was the cow every farmer had in their barn because she did it all. She gave milk for the house, meat for sale, and oxen for work. It is a medium to large cow which can present very varied colors: solid red, solid white, red and white, or a very characteristic and beautiful roan color, which is a mix of red and white hairs. Although she was displaced by the Holstein in the 80s and 90s, today the Shorthorn has regained immense popularity thanks to the regenerative agriculture and homesteading movement. What is her competitive advantage today? Calving ease and fertility. In the modern dairy industry, fertility is a serious and expensive problem. High-production cows sometimes take months to get pregnant again, consuming food without producing. The Shorthorn is famous for her regular reproductive cycles, her ease of calving without veterinary assistance, and her superior maternal instinct. She is a cow that gets pregnant easily. Furthermore, she is the perfect definition of economic versatility. The problem with pure dairy breeds is the male calf. Holstein or Jersey bull calves have very little commercial value. They are pure bone and very hard to fatten. Shorthorn males, on the other hand, gain weight very well and produce meat with excellent marbling and flavor. This allows you to have a real additional income selling the male calves for beef or finishing them yourself. Something that, in times when milk prices drop, can save the farm's economy. It is your insurance policy. You sell milk, and you sell quality meat. Do not expect the world record volumes of a Holstein, but expect a cow that calves every year on time, that does not give metabolic problems, and that maintains a robust body condition even while producing milk. She is the quintessential low-maintenance cow. 4. Gyr Zebu, the queen of the tropics and southern resilience. And finally, we arrive at the breed that is vital, strategic, and mandatory for our audience in hotter climates, whether in Florida, Texas, Northern Australia, or Latin America. Everything we have talked about so far, Holstein, Jersey, Ayrshire, Guernsey, works wonderfully if you have a temperate climate, cool nights, or altitude. But what happens if you live in the green hell? What happens if your farm is dealing with 95 or 100 degrees of heat in the shade, 90% humidity, and ticks lurking on every blade of grass? If you take a pure European cow to that environment, you have signed her death warrant due to heat stress or tick-borne diseases. Here is where the Gyr breed enters. Originating from India, the Gyr is a Zebu breed, Bos indicus. You will recognize her immediately by her unique and prehistoric appearance: an ultra-convex forehead, like a bony shield, horns curved back and down, and those long, hanging, corkscrew-shaped ears. But her most important characteristic for business is her skin and thermoregulation. The Gyr has black, pigmented skin under her hair, protecting her from skin cancer due to solar radiation. It is very loose, and possesses a density of sweat glands far superior to European breeds. Additionally, she has a large dewlap and sheath that act as natural radiators to dissipate body heat. Why is the Gyr the salvation for the tropical rancher? 1. Thermoregulation. While a Holstein stops eating and starts panting when the temperature passes 75 degrees, 24 degrees Celsius, reducing her production, the Gyr continues grazing happily at 95 degrees, 35 degrees Celsius, under direct sun. Her basal metabolism is lower, generating less internal heat. 2. Parasite resistance. Her mobile skin, short hair, and sebaceous secretion act as a natural repellent against ticks and flies. She is a cow that survives and thrives where others get sick. For decades, the Gyr was seen only as a beef brood cow, but thanks to incredible genetic improvement work done mainly in Brazil over the last 40 years, creating the modern milking Gyr, today we have Gyr cows that are true milk machines. The world record for a milking Gyr exceeds 26,000 pounds, 12,000 liters, in a lactation. That is Holstein territory. But let's be realistic and talk about field averages. In average tropical grazing management with little supplementation, a good selected Gyr can give you 30 to 40 pounds, 15 to 18 liters daily, which is miraculous considering the adverse climatic conditions where she lives. But the true multi-million-dollar economic value of the Gyr today is being the maternal base for hybridization. If you cross a Gyr cow, resistance and adaptation, with a Holstein bull, production and milk letdown speed, you get the famous girolando. The girolando is responsible for most of the milk produced in the tropical world today. The F1 half-blood is the most profitable animal for extreme hot climates. She produces a lot of milk like the Holstein mother, and withstands heat and pests like the Gyr mother. The 5/8 synthetic is a stabilized breed, ideal for slightly more technical systems. If your farm is in the hot south, having high-quality pure Gyr genetics is having a gold mine, not just for the milk, but because you can sell genetics, embryos, semen, bulls, to other ranchers who need hardiness to create their own resistant crosses. An important management detail. The Gyr is a very intelligent cow with a strong maternal instinct. Unlike the Holstein who forgets her calf at birth, the Gyr often needs to have the calf nearby or suckling to stimulate milk letdown. This can be seen as a disadvantage in industrial robotic systems, but in dual-purpose pasture systems it is an advantage, because you ensure raising a strong and healthy calf simultaneously with milk production. We have traveled the world through these 3 parts of the series, from the giant Holsteins of the US to the resistant Gyr of India, passing through the Swiss Alps and the Channel Islands. The final and most important lesson of this series is that there is no universal best breed. Get that idea out of your head. There is the best breed for your farm, for your climate, and for your market. If you are in cold mountains with rough terrain and want cost efficiency, look at the Ayrshire. If you have a gourmet market nearby that pays for health and differentiated quality, A2, the Guernsey is your partner. If you are looking for regenerative agriculture, low cost, easy handling, and want to sell beef and milk, the milking Shorthorn is the answer. And if your reality is the scorching heat, humidity, and parasites of the south or the tropics, do not hesitate for a second. The Gyr and its crosses, girolando, are your only safe path to financial success. The most expensive mistake a novice farmer makes is genetic snobbery, wanting to have the trendy cow, the giant magazine Holstein, in the wrong climate. Don't make that mistake. Nature always wins. Look at your pasture, look at your thermometer, and choose the breed that is biologically designed to prosper on your land. I hope this trilogy has given you the tools and technical knowledge to make better decisions in your livestock project. If you learned something new, hit like on this video and please subscribe, because in the upcoming videos we will leave breeds behind to dive deep into management, nutrition, rotational grazing, and pure profitability. Thank you for joining us on this journey through bovine genetics. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.